presented by Auraverse, where consciousness, earth and inner wisdom move as one. Showcase your work at auraverse.network and let your voice travel across worlds.
Before we begin, let your attention settle on one simple fact. You are aware of being here, and the universe is here with you. There is no hard edge where you end and everything else begins. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is Codex Æternum, the Rational Bible, a journey through the hidden architecture of power and the living conscience of the universe.
This program is endorsed by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia exclusively dedicated to authors, a living archive where writers and thinkers are immortalized through literature. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of our enduring legacy.
In Book 7, The Universal Wisdom of the Sages, this is Episode 99, The Inner Light and the Realization of the Intelligent Universe as Theos. Imagine standing beneath a night sky so clear that the Milky Way becomes a river of light. You feel small, but you do not feel meaningless. Somewhere in that feeling is the intuition that the cosmos is not chaos, it is intelligent. It moves with an order, a rhythm that your own mind can strangely understand. As we weave together the voices of Vedic seers, Greek philosophers, Buddhist monks, Kabbalists, Sufis, Taoists, and Native American elders, a single realization comes into focus. The intelligent universe itself is Theos, not a distant monarch perched outside of existence, but the living, structuring principle of existence as such. Theos is not simply in the universe. Theos is what the universe is when seen in its fullness. The inner light that each tradition speaks of is not a private ornament. It is a microcosm of this reality, a local flame of the same fire that burns in the stars. In the Vedic and Upanishadic vision, the Atman, the deepest self, is declared to be one with Brahman, the ultimate reality. Tattvamasi, thou art that. The spark in you and the infinite light are not two different substances. They are one reality seen at two scales. Christian mystics speak of the Christ within. This is not a metaphor for good behavior. It is the claim that the same Logos through which all things were made can awaken as a living presence in the depth of the soul. To recognize that presence is to realize that the intelligent universe has taken up residence in you, that Theos is not foreign, but intimate. Buddhist practitioners, especially in Tibetan traditions, speak of a clear light mind, a luminous, open awareness prior to our usual confusion. They may not use the language of God, yet they describe a primordial clarity that underlies every experience. When the mind rests in that clarity, it sees the interdependent universe as a single field, empty of fixed essences, but full of vivid appearance. Here, Theos shows itself as openness and luminosity rather than as a person. Plato imagines a realm of forms, timeless patterns of justice, beauty, goodness, and countless other essences. These forms are not decorations tacked onto reality. They are its blueprint. Theos in this language is the domain of these intelligible patterns, and the philosopher's work is to turn the inner eye from shadows to forms, from flickering impressions to stable truth. Plato's cave is our ordinary life. Screens, gossip, appearances, opinions. The ascent out of the cave is the soul's awakening to the fact that the cosmos is rationally structured and that our own intellect is kin to that structure. The inner light is the power in us that can recognize the light outside us. Nāgārjuna's middle way offers the same insight in a different accent. When we see that everything arises dependently, we discover a universe with no separate, self-existent blocks, but also no void of nothingness. What remains is a seamless field in which each thing is what it is only through everything else. That seamlessness is another face of Theos, not a being among beings, but the suchness of the total field. To realize emptiness is to realize that nothing stands apart from this field, including ourselves. The inner light here is the clarity that sees through the illusion of separateness and rests in the balance that holds the whole together. Kabbalistic teaching draws the tree of life, its sephirot cascading from the infinite, Ein Sof, down into the worlds of form. Each sephirah is an attribute of Theos, wisdom, understanding, mercy, judgment, beauty, endurance, majesty, foundation, and the indwelling presence. Creation is not a one-time event. It is a constant flowing of divine light through this tree. When human beings act justly, kindly, with awareness, they widen the channels. When they act with cruelty or forgetfulness, they constrict them. Tikkun Olam, the repair of the world, is the work of realigning our little corner of existence with the cosmic pattern. Every act of repair lets a little more of Theos shine through the fabric of reality. Sufism sings of the beloved. Here, the intelligent universe is experienced as love, not as a sentiment, but as a force that moves galaxies and hearts. The inner light is the flame of longing that burns away all that is false. When the Sufi remembers the name, he or she is not flattering a tyrant. They are tuning their entire being to the frequency of Theos. In that tuning, the distinction between lover and beloved thins. What remains is a single heartbeat echoing through all things. Taoism calls Theos by the name Tao, the way that cannot be fully spoken, yet makes itself known in the effortless order of nature. The sage does not conquer the Tao. The sage aligns with it, practicing Wu Wei, action so attuned that it feels like non-action. The inner light here is the quiet sense of when one is moving with the current and when one is fighting it. To follow that sense is to discover that Theos is not somewhere else. It is the very pattern of balanced action in this moment. The Native American traditions speak of the Great Spirit, Wakantanka, as the sacred power that breathes through earth, sky, water, and all creatures. The sacred hoop places all beings in one circle of life. Theos stands at the center, not as a statue, but as the radiating presence that holds the circle together. Here, the inner light is the reverence that sees kinship in everything. The animal you hunt, the river you drink from, the ancestor you remember, the child you teach. To live out of that reverence is to experience the intelligent universe as a speaking presence, not in thunderous proclamations, but in wind, tracks, and seasons. When you stand back and look at all of this, a single image emerges. The intelligent universe is Theos, alive, conscious, ordered, loving, and the inner light in us is a localized participation in that reality. The traditions disagree about metaphors, models, and metaphysical details. They argue, sometimes fiercely, over doctrines. Yet beneath those arguments lies a shared intuition. There is a source of order, meaning, and value. That source is not wholly outside us and not merely inside us. It is both. Our deepest task is to realize this and to live in a way that embodies it. To say that all paths lead to the same summit is too glib. The terrain is more complex than that. But we can say this: all genuine paths are oriented toward the same light. Some call it God, some call it Brahman, Tao, Logos, Ein Sof, clear light, Great Spirit. But the experience they aim at has a recognizable flavor, a collapse of alienation, a widening of compassion, a clarity about what is real, a sense that self and world are aspects of one living whole. In that realization, a final aphorism becomes plausible. To know oneself is to know the universe, and to know the universe is to know Theos. This does not mean that you, as an ego, are the creator of galaxies. It means that when you look deeply enough into your own awareness, beyond your stories, fears, and preferences, you discover a depth that is continuous with the depth of reality itself. The boundary between inner and outer begins to soften. You see that the same intelligence that grows a tree beats your heart. The same mystery that scatters stars across the void stares out of your eyes. To live from this recognition is not to float away from ordinary life. It is to treat each conversation, each decision, each act of work or rest as an opportunity to let Theos show through. Ethics becomes the art of honoring the divine in all things. Science becomes the study of how Theos unfolds in patterns and laws. Art becomes the human attempt to mirror divine beauty. Politics becomes, at its best, the negotiation of a world in which the inner light can develop in as many beings as possible. Carry this revelation as a very simple practice. Once today, take an ordinary object, a cup, a leaf, your own hand, and look at it as if it were a letter from the intelligent universe. Ask without forcing an answer, what is Theos saying here? Then turn the same question inward. What is Theos saying through this particular life I am living? You do not need a dramatic reply. You only need to let the question open a space in you where the inner light can flicker a little more freely. In our next episode, we will move from this cosmic vision into a more intimate dimension. We will explore the divine, Theos, Ethos, and the conscience within and without, how the same intelligence that shapes the universe also speaks as moral insight, as the sense of right and wrong that arises in the human heart, and what it means to treat conscience as one more voice of the living Theos. Our next sponsor is Everly Books Publishing Group, a traditional independent press serving both new and established writers. Everly Books welcomes unsolicited manuscripts submitted directly through everlybooks.org.